Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwantner, and welcome to Selling Power TV. Today, we have a great leader, Chris Cabrera, and he was the CEO of Xactly. Chris, welcome to our show.
Hey, Garrett, thanks for having me. Excited to be talking to you again. It's been a while.
Congratulations on the 20th anniversary of Xactly. You're still involved to some degree. Tell us about it.
I promoted my COO about a year ago, last January, and stepped down as the active CEO. But I'm still a board member. I'm still a large shareholder, and I'm still, pretty active helping the company in any ways that I can.
How many people did Xactly employ when it was at its height?
Oh, it's probably over 1,000, maybe 11, 1,200, somewhere in that range.
And you started with literally with just 3 or 4 people.
Well, yeah. I mean, at first it started with just me. It was just an idea, and then I recruited Satish Palve, who was my founding technical side. So I was kind of the sales and marketing guy, and he was the technical guy. And I mean, no joke, we did it in our garage, for the first maybe 4 or 5 months until we got a place, and then the rest is kind of history. It's been a really fun ride, taking it public in 2015, and we took it private under Vista Private Equity in 2017, and just a wild, incredible experience and great ride, really fun. One thing I learned as a entrepreneur is there's 6 sexy spaces, and then there's kind of like engine room spaces. And I wish I had known that 20 years ago. I might have picked a different, more sexy space. But we're an engine room kind of software, right? I mean, we automate compensation, and it's just not as glamorous, and so you don't get as much excitement around it. It's still a great business and still a huge need for people, big ROI.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that played into it a little bit.
What fascinated me about Xactly is the way you collected data from companies across all industries, and where you identified the different payment processes and found that there's an optimized version of a compensation plan where you get optimum performance at a very affordable cost. And I think the intelligence that you created really changed the industry.
It did, and it was we stumbled across it a little bit by luck. I mean, we just had it in our contracts from the very, very beginning 20 years ago that we had the right to aggregate and anonymize all this data. And I wish I could say that we had this grand master plan that would ultimately become the foundations for this incredible AI data set. But we didn't. I mean, no one even knew what AI was back then, right? And so, but that data that was aggregated and anonymized across, what ultimately ended up being hundreds of thousands of salespeople across the globe and growing to this day. To your point, it allowed us to provide information to people on how to pay and what made sense, and even down to their industry. And so what's really been exciting is to see that now become, as I said, we sort of become the foundation of this incredible AI story that we now have today, which is pretty powerful and pretty amazing. Years ago, I started saying that I think Xactly is more of a data company than it is even a comp company per se, because that data is so valuable and what we can do with it is so interesting. It's been really, really cool to see that side of the business expound and explode, especially in this last year with the AI stuff.
It's also interesting to note that this was not by design. This was just an afterthought that became a main show.
I got to tell you, when I put that in the contract years ago, I remember thinking everyone's going to make us take that out. Then no one's going to let us have this right to aggregate and anonymize their data. People were scared of the cloud. They didn't even understand what the cloud was. I always just remember thinking, God, if I even get 2 out of 10 customers to agree to this, it's going to be a home run, because that's still going to be a lot of data as we get bigger and bigger. I don't think anybody's opted out. People realize, and then if they even wavered on it, we would start saying, well, then we won't sell you the information and ultimately the AI. And so people were like, oh, just kidding. Yeah, we want to be part of this program. The data showed year after year after year that 3 measures was the most effective, meaning comp plans that performed the best always only had 3. And it was kind of almost like counterintuitive, right? Because, people tried to get these really complicated plans and have all to do this and that. And they'd say, well, this drives the behavior. And we'd be like, yeah, but the data shows it doesn't. The data shows that if you have 3, and we can even tell you what the 3 are, depending on what industry you're in, That was sort of, I mean, today that, everyone knows that, I think, because we've been espousing it for so many years. But in the early days, like, that was groundbreaking. People would be like, really? Oh my God, like, that's crazy. And we would help them design their comp plans and do it, using the data. So it's just so powerful. It's really fun.
It is.